Hello, whippersnappers and hooligans. This is Old Man Poole here. We're going to be joining a Modern Masters Draft League. About to start drafting. Looks like we just barely missed the start of the last queue, but Modern Masters also has been propping pretty fast, so I think we'll be able to get in here in just a minute. This is going to be my second draft online. I also did a draft just with a couple of friends, so pretty small group, live. I've really enjoyed the format so far. You can do some pretty powerful, pretty disgusting things. Been a lot of fun. And always exciting to open some of the most powerful Magic cards that have been printed. Opened up to a pretty unexciting pack. Grap Digger's Cage is definitely not the rare you're hoping for. Have a couple of Tri-lands, which are good, and maybe actually not being the pick here. Wing Splicer is pretty strong, although it is a little bit less than the colors that the Splicers traditionally want to be. Pretty much everything else here is not really a first pick. I do like Momentary Blink. It does some pretty fun stuff. I guess we probably should take the Wing Splicer here. That is not super exciting, but I think is what we've got to go with. A lot of these cards go well in the right deck. Forbidden Alchemy, Druid's Deliverance, Grasp of Phantasms. They all have their place, but Wing Splicer is nice because it'll slot into most anything. It might actually be correct to take a Tri-land here, but I'm going to take the blue solid card. Alright. Here, also not super exciting. We have a couple of Signets, which are never a bad pickup. Baloth Cage Trap is not real exciting. Most of the time that's going to be a 4/4 flash. It is a beast token, so we can always populate it if it ends up coming around to that. Chandra's Outrage is fairly reasonable removal in the format, but it's probably going to be in the pick here. Well, I should maybe take a Signet. Maybe we'll take the Azorius Signet. Signets can do some pretty good stuff. There are not a ton of threats that you really want to ram into in this format. I feel like my curves often top out around 4 or 5 mana, but it can help you if you've got kind of a slow start and just getting a little bit of a tempo boost, playing bigger cards than your opponent can be a pretty big game. So I guess we'll start with that. Temporal Mastery is kind of a cool card. I don't know if it's the best here. Both Flicker Wisp and Harmonize are probably stronger cards. It is a Time Walk, but it's pretty bad if it's just in your hand. A 7 cost. Yeah, it does basically nothing if it's not the first card you draw. And you get to Miracle it. Take Tandem Lookout here, which works okay with the Wing Splicer. Take Harmonize. I feel like Harmonize or Flicker Wisp are just kind of the picks here. They're pretty strong. If we want to get into kind of a flickery theme with our Wing Splicer already, Flicker Wisp might be better. Harmonize is a pretty powerful effect, but I think we are going to just take the Flicker Wisp here. So a couple of good picks here. I do like Magma Jet, although that might end up being the pick. Familiar's Ruse is kind of an interesting card, and might be worthwhile if we really are kind of trying to go hard on the Flicker deck here. Over Magma Jet? That might be correct. This format, more than most, is all about synergy, so getting a couple of things together that do powerful effects can really get you going. So maybe I'll take Familiar Ruse here. Alright, we have a Gorklan Rampager, which is just by far and away, I think, the best card in the pack here. But is not really what we want to be playing. Sin Collector is a fine card if we end up with some black. Being able to flicker this and remove multiple cards is pretty good. It does only hit instants and sorceries, so there are definitely times where it's just kind of dead. Augur might be okay here. It definitely depends on how many instants and sorceries you end up with. Pilfer Plans is nearly okay. Spell Pierce is not that exciting. Talon Trooper is pretty reasonable flyer. It doesn't really fit with our theme, but it might just kind of do what we want it to here. We're trying to fly over our opponents. Arid Mesa is a reasonable card for splashes. This is kind of a late outrage. I think we take the Wall of Frost here, actually, even though it's not the most exciting card in the world. It does go up the ground, and if we're trying to fly over, that might be what we want. So we've only got one flicker target as it is that we're really excited about, and that's the Wing Splicer. So we'll look for a couple more of those, otherwise we might just kind of end up with a flying run over your opponents. Getting Lawkeeper is a pretty okay pickup here. The Boros Signet is fine. It may be better than the Lawkeeper, but right now we don't have a whole lot we're ramping into, and I feel like you don't want an overabundance of signets. One of the first decks I played in the format had 3 signets in it, and I just kind of was ramping into nothing. Graceful Reprieve is kind of a flicker effect, but I feel like it's one of the worst ones we can have. I think Lawkeeper is just going to be better most of the time. Passing on Is It Charm here, which is good, but is also something you kind of want to be able to play early. If we're splashing for it, it's less powerful. No respect to the Cruel Ultimatum. So this is definitely something you can ramp into. It'll just kind of win you the game. I am sorely tempted. I think the Skyfisher is going to be more what we want in this deck, though. Okay, so Grasp of Phantasms coming back is not bad for us. I don't think we're a deck that really takes advantage of Forbidden Alchemy, so we'll just take the Phantasms here. Hatchling is fine. Nothing here. Do we want to... what is the odds? I feel like we end up playing in kind of an Esper deck more often, so maybe Pit Keeper makes the cut in some kind of unhappy world. I think we'd really be happier not playing this, but if we have to, we have to. I don't think anything else will ever make the deck, so we'll take Pit Keeper and maybe we'll end up having to do it. Take a Graceful Reprieve. Again, I'd kind of rather not play unless we have a lot of really good flicker effects, and then maybe it gets good. It has the potential to be a really big blowout. Sometimes it just blanks a removal spell and you get an Enter the Battlefield effect, and you just are super, super happy. Do you want the gift? I don't think we ever really want the gift. I'll take the Shimmering Grotto here, since we have basically no fixing as it is. Right now we're straight 2 colors, but if we draw into a bomb or something in the next couple of packs, we may want that Shimmering Grotto. I feel like that was a decent first pack, especially considering our first 2 picks were from packs that just did not have a whole lot going on. Mind Shatter. That's a pretty powerful effect. It's double black. I'm not sure we want that. I think Opportunity is just going to be better for the deck. There are a couple of things that we could hope to wheel here. I think we'd be okay with the Deputy of Acquittals. We might even play a Rewind. Tended Knight isn't bad. I think Opportunity is just the pick for us here. Draw 4 instant speed. Feels so good. Boros Reckoner. I don't think there's really any merit in taking that for us. It's triple white for kind of a 3/3 first strike. Soul Ransom is a pretty powerful effect though. Well, so is Mistraven. Ooh. This is a tough pick. Soul Ransom we would have to splash for, but I have been destroyed by this card in the format. It's kind of like an opportunity a lot of the times. Your opponent has to discard a couple, and sometimes they got lands to play and sometimes they don't. But you also get a Divinate off of it, or you just get their best creature, and it really puts your opponent in a rough spot. It's maybe not as good as straight up Mind Control, but it costs 4, so more like control magic, I guess. It is good. I don't know if I want that over Mistraven. Mistraven is good with a couple of flicker effects we have in the deck, and I think it's just a solid card in general. Ooh, this is hard. I think I'm going to take the Well, now I'm taking... Mistraven. I think that was the less exciting pick, but I think it may also have been correct. On the other hand, we could have picked up an Agony Warp right now, which we might still. So it's a little bit of a shame there. Unburial Rites is a card that's near and dear to my heart, but I also just kind of don't think it's real good in this deck. I do appreciate it, though. So Agony Warp I think is going to be better than Deputy of Acquittals most of the time. Even though it is a splash card, I think it's a good splash card. We can play it later in the game, we're not sad about it. There was also a Deputy that I think might be wheeling from another pack, so I think I'm going to take the Agony Warp here. There's that Deputy in the first pack that we took from. And unless someone else is also in the Flicker deck, I think it's going to come back around to us. Cruel War Chant is can do some fun stuff with. I'm a little bit sad I didn't take the whatever it is, the Mind Control card now. But Mistraven is still a pretty good pickup. I'm not sad about that. We'll probably wheel one of the Talon Troopers too, and we'll be happy with that. Gifts Ungiven. Choose library for 4 different cards. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest of your hand. I don't know if we have a whole lot that we really want to do with that. We don't have any real way to take advantage of the graveyard, and we get the... Yeah, I don't know if it's that much better than Divination a lot of the time. He's going to get rid of the best 2 cards in our deck, and we'll get 3 and 4, I guess. I think Dinner of the Horror is going to be better most of the time here. And we'll have a light black splash now. This is one of the best flicker targets, I think, probably in the set, though. I mean, apart from some of the rares. So we're happy to pick that up. That's kind of a cool card, the Aether Mage's Touch. Wow, this is a really, really late Harmonize. Like, really late. I don't think there's any way we switch to green at this point, but that is... I don't think that's correct. Any green deck, that is what you're hoping for, I think. Aether Mage's Touch seems pretty cool. I think it is going to be better in Ghostly Flicker, probably Lone Missionary. We have a decent number of creatures so far, and we only need to hit one of them to really be okay with it. I guess you really want our Enter the Battlefield effect. You're going to take it, though. I'm not sure how good it'll be, and it'll be something we can try out in this deck. I like Aether Toe quite a bit. Ooh, Past in Flames. That's cool. I mean, I don't know how good it is in Limited. Probably just not at all, but it's a pretty fun card. I like the different Storm decks that you can pull off with it. But we'll take the Aether Toe and be pretty happy about that. Is there a chance we want to play Wingcrafter? Probably not. A lot of our stuff already flies. I think it's probably the pick. We don't really want Wake the Reflections, any of these. I guess we could take the Naturalize. That might be better than Wingcrafter. What are we really making fly here? So much of our stuff flies already. I guess we can make the Dinner of a Horror do it, but I just don't think Wingcrafter is good for us here. I'd take the Sundering Growth. Rewind, I guess probably is the pick. There are some matches where I'll probably want to play that. Don't like Pick Heaver, don't really like Mystic Genesis. Not something that I'm real excited to splash for. It's a powerful effect, but it also kind of sits in your hand a lot of the time, I feel like. And we might play the Rewind. Eyes in the Skies is fine. I think we'll take that. Probably don't hope to play it since we don't have any better thing than the 2 birds, but not bad. Take the Hookmaster here, and it's just a fine tempo card. Keep it the beats. I guess Dampening Matrix. I don't see any way we're going to play any of the other ones. We're not playing Cower and Fear double black, and it's not even really a main deck card otherwise. I guess we'll take it though. Maybe there's a really, really heavy Goblin deck or something that we want to kill. I guess Slime Molding Green actually, we got a lot of late green there. Green may be underdrafted at the table. I think we're still not unhappy with our current deck though. Another Aether Mage touch. How good is this? Horror, I think it's a good hit. Wing Splicer's a fine hit. Mistraven. So that's 4. Hookmaster's kind of unexciting, but okay. Flicker Wisp was pretty good. 5. We have a handful here. Is that better than just another Wing Splicer though? I don't think it is. This may not be correct. I don't really know how to evaluate this card, which is why I'm excited to play one of them in this deck. But I don't think we do. We also got this one late, so even if we do want it, it might come back around. I don't think the Wing Splicer will, so I'm gonna pick that up right now. We have not seen a whole lot of fixing across all of the packs. Interesting to note too, both Talon Troopers didn't come back. In the last pack, there was one pack that had a foil and a regular Talon Trooper, and neither of them made it around. Probably does not bode super well for us. Because I haven't seen a whole lot of fixing, I think I'm going to take the Talon Trooper. I think the Din Robot Horror could be a better pick if we were more confident that we'd be able to play all the black, but as of right now, we just don't have enough fixing for it. Ooh, I do like the Spectre, but I don't think we play it here. Can't play Terminate. Agony Warp is fine, but again, I'm not sure if we're not playing black. Ghostly Flicker might just be better for the deck. We have a lot of things that we like to flicker. Yeah. Just haven't seen the dual lands that we need to, I think, to really take the Agony Warp, even though I think it is the better card here. And Ghostly Flicker's okay. Well, there's Crumbling Necropolis, so it's blue-black. We might just have to take that here. Tandem Lookout. Ooh, Tandem Lookout's pretty good with all of our flyers. I don't know which is correct here. So we would have to cut the Horror and the Agony Warp, I think, unless we got a couple more duels. We have a Shimmering Grotto, but that's really not where you want to be as far as fixing. Crumbling Necropolis is okay. Take that or the Tandem. I think we're going to get to enough playables, although we might be a little bit tight, actually. So, especially if we have to cut stuff. I think I'm going to take the Tandem here. This may, well, I don't know. This may not be correct. I think I'm undervaluing the fixing. Dinrova Horror is really good. I think we'll take the Necropolis. Oh, Gristlebrand. So beautiful. No way we can ever do anything with it, but so beautiful. You can probably hear the sultry sounds of my cat in the background, who will probably continue to meow because she's under the impression I don't feed her enough, but that disagrees, so. Here, there's not really much for us. I guess we can take a Forbidden Alchemy, but I don't think that's something that we're going to play very often. Don't want any of these red cards though. There's a lot of red in this pack. So, yeah, I guess that's the pick. Not exciting, not what we're hoping for. Crippling Chill is fine. Don't have anything going on for green. I'm surprised that the Trumpeter's still here. I do like that pick. I guess we take the Crippling Chill here, which is just an okay card. Ooh, Diamir Guildgate. That is super exciting. That is really what we wanted to hit here. So we'll just take that and be happy that we got a couple of fixers. Welcome to... Oh, never mind. I think you guys have gone. We had a couple of people viewing the stream, but they have gone the other way. Take another Dinrova Horror here. Soul Manipulation is a powerful card. That might be better. Counter a creature spell late in the game, and a return card. You can always just return a card if you need to. We just want another Dinrova. Nice Manipulator seems pretty good. I don't know. Let's try the Soul Manipulation. This is like another Forbidden Alchemy. These can be curve fillers if we get something that is really not good for the deck. I think I wanted to be in red, though. Maybe red-green. There's a lot of pretty powerful red and green cards coming around. Like, I don't think Magma Jet should be this late. Oh, Youthful Knight. We'll take that. I almost brushed right over the top of him. Graceful Reprieve. I guess there's a world where we play two. My opponent's just sitting on tons and tons of removal spells. I don't think there's any way we play any of these. Giant baiting. I don't know. Vampire. Yeah. So I think we got together. We have a reasonable deck. Definitely a little bit light on all the playables. I can't decide if I would have rather have that Soul Ransom instead of the second Mistraven. Probably, but that may have been a little bit of a punt. We have a couple of reasonable flicker targets here. I think the deck actually came out to be pretty okay. And a lot of flyers. Interesting to note, too, that the other Aether Mages touch didn't come back around, even though we got it late the first time. I'm also a little bit surprised that neither Talent Trooper in that pack made it back, but well, what are our cuts here? Azorius Signet seems... oh, let's do this. Azorius Signet seems kind of okay. We don't have a whole lot to do on 2, although we do have lots of 3-drops we're happy to play, so I think we're happy to play that. Did end up getting a couple of black fixing cards, which are nice, so I think we're gonna afford to play the Agony Warp and the Manipulation and the Horror. I might just cut Rewind. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a real blowout with Opportunity. We're still okay with Aether Toe, although we probably want to use Aether Toe before they're casting something that I'd Rewind. I guess we have a fair number of instants. So yeah, Rewind's okay. I think a lot of these things, though, I think Rewind's going to be worse in a lot of decks. I'll keep an eye on it as the matches progress. What instances that a Rewind would be good, and we could still make use of the mana. But just a 4 mana counterspell is not enough most of the time. Might cut the Hatchling. I don't know if it's good a lot of the time. It will be a really or great card in some matchups, but just not exciting in others. I think it's worse than everything else we have in here. So I think this is a pretty reasonable deck. I'd say maybe a B. Probably a little bit, maybe a B minus. A little bit better than average, not anything really crazy. I don't have a ton in the way of bombs. The Horror and a bunch of flyers, I think, are going to have to get it done. But not unhappy with the deck either, especially because I think we maybe ended up drafting with at least one other Flicker player, or at least another player that's had a lot of blue-white. I think we got a reasonable number of playables. So we'll have both of these in. Those both provide blue, but not white. We do have one double white and Flicker Wisp, but we're heavier on blue. Although I guess our white's earlier in the curve, so maybe we kind of want that to be evenly split. I don't think we want any more black. Maybe we'll do 8 something like that. Oh, I guess we've already got 2 lands in there though. So maybe something like that. That gets us 9 blue sources, 2 black sources. We might want one more black source actually. We have 3 cards to take advantage of it, and they're all pretty good cards. So if we do that, if we go down to 8 blue sources, 8 white sources, 3 black sources. Not the best mana ever, but not. I think that's passable. I think it's okay. I think we do want to keep up our white count. The only double blue cards we have are the Mistraven and the Familiar Ruse. And Opportunity, but Opportunity is pretty late game play. I think we want to have mana for the Lawkeeper. It's pretty rough when you want to be able to tap something with the Lawkeeper, but you also don't have the white mana to keep playing tempo plays. So I think this is just an okay arrangement. So we'll save our deck. Have a couple of reasonable sideboard cards. I don't think Eyes in the Skies is better than anything we have here. I guess it's true. We do have a couple of splicers. We could make a couple of golems off of those. We'll see. I think that might be still a sideboard card. I think everything else we've gotten here is going to be better most of the time. Grasp is slow, but it's nice to have something to do with our mana a little bit later too. Especially because I think we'll be hitting our land drops between the Signet and the Opportunity. And we'll want to do some stuff with our mana late game. Alright, I feel good about this. Let's head into match 1.